Chapter 1. The Spark That Ignites Wisdom and Leadership. In the early years of the semiconductor industry, Jensen grew up in Taichung and faced many challenges that shaped his perspective on leadership. After moving to the United States, he landed at a small chip company in Stanford that struggled with market confusion and internal conflict. Through years of perseverance, he learned that true wisdom in business comes from asking questions rather than giving answers, from listening more than speaking, and from trusting the collective intelligence of a team. He often says that a successful leader is not the one who has all the solutions, but the one who creates space for others to bring theirs to light. His own story is a textbook example for us. When early NVIDIA faced intense competition from big players, many people wanted to quit. Jensen proposed a bold and simple plan: focus on graphics processors that would transform how people experience the digital world. He invested his time and energy in building a culture of curiosity, where employees were encouraged to experiment, fail quickly, and learn. The result was a series of groundbreaking products that set industry standards and earned him respect across the globe. From that story, we learn that authentic wisdom leads to bold action, and genuine leadership builds a vision and a community that can navigate uncertainty. The lesson for the listener is simple. When you are faced with a challenge, pause. Ask, what does the data truly say? What does my inner sense of how to best serve others suggest? A leader who balances deep knowledge and humility invites others to share their insights. Practical ways to apply this wisdom today. 1. Start each day with a quick reflection on the question, what problem are we really trying to solve? 2. Invite peers or team members to share a unique perspective before you finalize a decision. 3. Practice active listening at every meeting. Repeat what you hear to confirm understanding. 4. Celebrate failures that provided learning rather than blame. Conclusion and key takeaways. Jensen's early experience shows that wisdom starts with listening, humility, and courage, and that leadership is less about commanding than cultivating trust. To step into a stronger role, you must build a culture where ideas can thrive and where the path forward is shared, not imposed. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe. Follow for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: how can you shift from telling the story of the problem to creating a story that invites collaboration? Chapter 2. Principles that shape purposeful leadership. Jensen's playbook is anchored in a few timeless principles that he has taught through interviews, speeches, and his own business decisions. The first is continuous curiosity. He believes that learning never stops, whether you are the founder or a junior engineer. At a recent conference, he explained that when you stay curious, you stay ahead of the curve, and that curiosity fuels innovation. The second principle is integrity in execution. He always reminds his teams that an idea is only as good as the integrity of its implementation. A third principle is relentless focus on the customer, because the best products are born when the user's experience is at the center of every decision. The fourth principle is an ecosystem mindset, treating people not as isolated units, but as interlinked contributors who influence the whole. One of his most powerful stories illustrates these principles. Early on, NVIDIA was criticized for a product that was too complex for users. Instead of blaming the design, Jensen gathered engineers, sales, and customers to iterate on the interface. This inclusive approach not only resolved the usability issues, but also opened several new markets. This example shows that curiosity leads to the right questions, integrity preserves trust, and customer focus directs effort toward real value. Motivational insights. From curiosity, we learn that learning is the engine of growth. No matter your role, ask what if, and how can we improve? From integrity, we learn that true vision is realized only when action matches intention. A leader's word must be a promise kept. From the customer focus, we learn to measure success by the experience people have with your product, not by internal metrics alone. From the ecosystem mindset, we learn that the path to success is a collaborative chain rather than a solo sprint. Concrete example of applying these principles. 1. Set aside a weekly learning hour, where the team reads a new research paper and shares key takeaways. 2. Create a transparent board that tracks where commitments are kept or missed, and celebrate the ones that align with values. 3. Run a quarterly customer walkthrough with the product team, mapping pain points and desired features directly from feedback. 4. Hire cross-functional mentors so that knowledge is shared across departments, creating a holistic perspective for each project. Conclusion and key takeaways. Jensen's core principles, curiosity, integrity, customer focus, and ecosystem thinking, serve as a compass for leaders who want to navigate today's complex landscape. By embedding them into daily habits, anyone can elevate their leadership capacity and, in turn, propel their organization forward. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe, follow for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question. Which of Jensen's 4 principles feels most natural to you, and which one feels like a discipline you need to develop? Chapter 3. Real-life application of wisdom on the battlefield. Jensen's journey to building a worldwide leader in artificial intelligence and graphics processors is filled with moments that translate directly to everyday leadership battles. One memorable episode occurred when NVIDIA's team had to decide whether to invest heavily in a new GPU architecture that promised 30% higher performance but increased power consumption. Many viewed the risk as too great. Jensen invited the entire engineering team to discuss the trade-offs and to run the simulation scenarios. He listened patiently to the data and the gut feelings of senior engineers, and after a series of rapid prototype tests, he made the decision to proceed. The launch was a success and became the foundation for NVIDIA's dominance in several new markets. In a different situation, Jensen faced criticism over labor practices early in his career. Instead of ignoring the concerns, he called for a transparent audit and invited employees from all backgrounds to voice their experiences. His response was not to protect management, but to address systemic issues. A week later, the company introduced new fair, pay policies and an open feedback portal. This move reinforced the idea that real leadership means addressing discomfort head-on, listening to diverse voices, and making structural changes that benefit everyone. The lessons from these stories are actionable. 1. Involve the team early so no perspective is ignored. 2. Treat risk as information, not as an enemy. 3. Use data to guide decisions, but back it with empathy toward people impacted. 4. When faced with criticism, turn it into an opportunity for improvement and transparency. Practical steps for listeners. 1. Create a risk and feedback workshop every quarter. Bring data, simulations, and open questions. 2. Adopt a 360-degree review process that collects insights from peers, subordinates, and managers simultaneously. 3. After a tough decision, schedule a debrief session where the team can evaluate outcomes, learn, and adjust. 4. Commit to at least one new policy that improves fairness, transparency, or work culture, and announce it publicly. Conclusion and key takeaways. Real wisdom shows itself not in what we say, but in how we act when pressure mounts. Jensen's stories demonstrate that listening, data-driven decisions, and a commitment to fairness are the pillars that allow a leader to grow through challenges. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe, follow for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question. If you faced a tough decision today, how would you ensure that every team member's voice is heard before finalizing the outcome? Chapter 4. Practical wisdom for modern life and personal growth. Today's leaders are not just CEOs or managers. They can be anyone who holds influence, from teachers to parents to community volunteers. Jensen's strategies are therefore universally applicable. His key insight is that a leader's impact starts with self-awareness. He recommends a daily practice of journaling. Write down one success, one challenge, and one question that keeps you awake at night. This simple act sharpens focus and fuels curiosity. Another modern tool Jensen champions is the use of technology to amplify empathy. He often highlights how data dashboards can surface trends, but the crucial next step is asking the people behind the numbers to explain their feelings. If you run a small business, set up a short survey after each customer interaction asking, "What did you enjoy most and what could we improve?" and review the answers with your team. The third practical tool is the adoption of design thinking. Jensen believes that by putting a human at the center, you automatically cultivate better products and processes. To apply this, start by mapping the user journey for any project, identify friction points, brainstorm low-cost prototypes, and test them in real-world settings. This loop of empathy, ideation, and rapid prototype drives continuous improvement without the need for bureaucratic approvals. Fourth, he encourages leaders to invest in their team's growth. Set up a learning lunch every month where a team member teaches a new skill to the others. This not only expands knowledge, but reinforces a culture of shared learning and humility. Example of implementation in everyday life. Start your day with a 5-minute reflection on a question such as, what learning will make the most difference for me? Create a simple feedback channel on your work platform for quick, anonymized suggestions. Launch a weekly design sprint to test small changes on a website or service, measuring impact with clear metrics. Schedule a monthly team learning session, rotating the presenter to keep everyone engaged. Conclusion and key takeaways. By integrating self-awareness, empathy-first data, design thinking, and shared learning into daily routines, you harness the same wisdom Jensen applies to leading a multinational corporation. These practices transform personal growth and enable you to inspire others even without a formal title. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe, follow for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question. Which one of the 4 practical tools above would you commit to using for the next month? And how do you plan to measure its impact on your personal or professional life? Chapter 5. The Path Forward, Embodying Wisdom and Leadership. Jensen's journey reminds us that wisdom is not a static treasure, but a moving goal that requires constant honing. The final lesson you take away is that every day offers a new opportunity to practice the principles discovered in previous chapters: listening, integrity, curiosity, customer focus, and collaborative mindsets. The real challenge is to transform intent into habit. Start by setting a monthly leadership check-in for yourself. Ask how your actions reflected the values you cherish, where you fell short, and what concrete step you'll take tomorrow to be a better leader. Remember that growth is a cycle: action, reflection, adjustment, repeat. Every modern leader faces uncertainty, whether in market shifts, technological advancements, or societal changes. Jensen's wisdom teaches that embracing uncertainty as a catalyst for innovation keeps you ahead. Treat new technologies, data trends, and external feedback as invitations to reimagine possibilities, not as threats. To apply this mindset today, choose one new trend in your industry, research its implications, and create a small experiment that tests how it could benefit your work or customers. Share the results with your peers to spark conversation and inspire collective action. Conclusion and key takeaways. Wisdom is cultivated through intentional listening and honest reflection. Leadership thrives on integrity, curiosity, and placing user needs at the core. Everyday habits, daily self-reflection, transparent feedback loops, rapid prototyping, and shared learning build a resilient leadership culture. Uncertainty should be viewed as a playground for creativity, not a battlefield. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe, follow for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question. What is one small but bold action you can take right now that aligns with the 4 leadership principles discussed, and how will you hold yourself accountable for it?